Hi, everybody. This is Jay Ellenby, president of Safe Harbors Business Travel, back with you in our Travel Expert Series. We took a few weeks off. It was summertime, so I think we had the opportunity to attempt to relax in this environment. But we're very excited about restarting the Expert Series, a video series. And a few months back, we had Matt Cutchess, who is the general manager of global sales for Delta Airlines. And he gave us a really good outline of what Delta is doing at that time with respect to their aircraft, cleanliness, precautions they're taking with respect to our current environment of COVID-19. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about COVID-19 again, but really creating confidence, or if you will, ensuring confidence with the traveling public. And I'm really excited to have BettyJo Brandner with us. She is the Director of Global Cleanliness Operations. So BettyJo, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, okay, Director of Global Cleanliness Operations. It's got to be a new title, right?
It is. I recently joined our new Global Cleanliness organization that was born out of this pandemic, and I'm excited to share with you what we're doing in global cleanliness throughout this series.
Fantastic. So from what I can tell, it looks like you're in the office, not a backdrop, right?
That is correct. I am currently in Atlanta. That's where I am based, and I'm broadcasting live from our corporate headquarters today.
Fantastic. Well, I as well. I am in our offices as well, so that is not a backdrop behind me. So thank you again, BettyJo, for joining us. So a few things. Have you flown recently?
I have. I've actually taken 2 trips in the past month, visiting both Texas and New Jersey. Travel definitely looks different these days, but with all the safety and cleaning measures in place, I felt very comfortable and relaxed, and it was ultimately a very enjoyable experience.
Well, that's great to hear. So I will comment on my experience as well. I happened to fly this past weekend, and the experience was phenomenal. And I'm not just saying because I'm biased about our industry. I'm saying it because the airline I traveled on, the boarding was perfect, and having a certain amount of people traveling or boarding at a time, blocking out the center seats was very, very good, and it felt a comfort level. Granted, there are people still in front of you, but it's a psychological thing, in my opinion. And it was really, there was quite a bit of attention paid to really cleanliness and a concern for really keeping people safe. Can you guess which airline that was I flew?
I think you are describing Delta Airlines.
Exactly. So it went, it went very well, and so I thank Delta for really taking those precautions to really create a safe and comfortable environment for me and those traveling with me as well, and everyone else.
Well, thank you. Thank you for entrusting us to carry you on your journey.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is we're going to be talking about cleanliness, since that's your title, and I'm going to share a screen that BettyJo provided, and here we go. You were good enough of putting this together for us. Let me bring it back up. There we go. So I'll let you take us through. Let me know when you want to go to the next slide.
Okay. So I'll just start with what we are doing to maintain cleanliness. So Delta's dedication to cleanliness and safety can be seen at every step along the customer's journey. And with the establishment of our new Global Cleanliness Division, we are committed now more than ever to finding new ways to innovate both in our product and in our processes. The new Delta Care standard includes layers of protection across the whole journey. That includes electrostatic spraying. Actually, I'm sorry. One more slide. I just realized that.
Oh, I should have had you there anyway.
No, that's okay.
One more?
One more.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay. So the new Delta Care standard includes layers of protection across the journey. That includes electrostatic spraying, hand sanitizing stations. We are requiring face coverings. As you mentioned, capping our load factors, keeping the middle seat open, and having onboard care kits, clean air by leveraging our HIPAA filtration, social distancing markers, and acrylic shields. And we are testing employees, just to name a few items within our Delta Care standard. We also realize that we don't have all the answers, so that is why we have strategic partners to help us, and those include the Mayo Clinic, Lysol, Perel, and other partners in the travel space. So specifically, when you're thinking about the aircraft, the enhanced deep cleaning that now takes place before every flight is a layered approach, and that includes a thorough electrostatic spraying along with a complete manual cleaning of our surfaces throughout the whole aircraft. So a little bit about electrostatic spraying technology. It works in a similar manner to static electricity when you rub two surfaces together. So the disinfecting solution is applied using a sprayer that adds an electrostatic charge to the droplets. Within seconds, this positively charged droplet of disinfectant attracts to nearby surfaces. This allows for the sanitation process and our special cleaning crews to detail every part of the airplane. We perform this layered process, as I mentioned, between every flight, and we have additional, more thorough programs that happen overnight, and then additional programs at a 30-day interval for the aircraft. Altogether, these layers of protection provide a deeper, more effective clean. But before you get on the aircraft, you have to walk through the lobby. So we also apply the same layered approach inside our airports as well, and that's at our check-in counters, also being wiped down and sanitized frequently throughout the day.
Next slide.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'd like to do here is walk you through the customer experience from when you arrive at the airport until when you depart. So you can expect our Delta Care standard throughout your whole journey, curb to curb. So let's start with the pre-trip. You will be receiving much more information from Delta than ever before. We call it Know Before You Go. We want to ensure that you also check your local requirements and always pack your mask. I also highly recommend our Fly Delta app, as it will provide you with the latest information at your fingertips, offering the opportunity for a touchless journey. And if you're familiar with this app, you will see a few more messages than usual. Our style is to over-communicate during these times. So when you advance to the curb, you will see that all employees and customers are wearing face coverings. We have hand sanitizing stations throughout. You'll see plexiglass shields adding an additional layer of protection, and spacing decals throughout to maintain social distancing. So as I mentioned, we have more frequent cleaning in our lobby areas. And also know that Delta has one of the most robust employee testing programs in the country. We do testing for all employees. Everyone gets a temperature screen when they arrive at work, and we have a comprehensive healthcare check app for our employees as well. So please know that when you are interacting with our team at the airport or on the aircraft, safety is always at the forefront. So when you move into the security process, we also have a very strong partnership with the TSA to support the electrostatic spraying and bin cleaning. Recently, in partnership with them, we rolled out antimicrobial bins in airport security checkpoints in Atlanta, Minneapolis, Los Angeles, and both of our New York hubs. So when you advance to the boarding experience, you will see in the gatehouse many of the same items you saw at check-in. In addition to our employees keeping the gatehouse and podium clean and sanitized, we have a new process where we also board back to front to minimize employees passing in your row, minimize people passing in your row, allowing only a few customers at a time in the boarding bridge, and social distancing markers throughout the jet bridge as well. And once you're on board, the cleaning process is one you will not see firsthand, but you will quickly see the results as you board. You will notice a few key changes as we are maintaining our load factor caps and leaving the middle seat open. And on our domestic flights, you will receive a pre-packed snack to minimize the interaction with others. You will also be asked to wear your face mask for the entire flight for your safety and obviously the safety and comfort of those around you. Onboard filtration is another key item, as I mentioned, that has been in place for years. And upon deplaning, we're also asking everyone to remain in their seats until it is their turn, allowing for social distancing during this process as well. And lastly, as you enter the baggage claim area, you will see many of the similar items you've seen throughout your journey, whether it was at check-in or at the gates. And then everything that I just walked through can also be found on delta.com in greater detail. And Jay, if you want to go to the last page, I'd like to show you that our customers can anticipate consistency in their travels with us as well. So as I mentioned, face coverings are now required for all employees and customers. You can see here what our plexiglass shields look like. They are installed at all of our Delta counters that are staffed with an agent. And also is an example of our social distancing decals, promoting safe space and providing sanitizing stations throughout the customer touch points.
So, okay, so BettyJo, I have a few questions. If I could take us back to the slide here. When travelers start receiving communication, the pre-trip communication, what kind of things are included in that?
So we are sharing with them things that they need to know before they go. So we are reminding them to pack their mask. We also have some health questions that they need to be anticipated to answer to ensure that they are going to be in compliance with the mask policy that we're asking, informing them if they've been around anybody who's been exposed to COVID-19, and the fact that we do have travel restrictions, whether it's country to country or from state to state. And so we want to remind them to double check their local requirements before departing.
Yeah. When I traveled, I went into a state that's actually, I'm in Maryland, and Maryland actually is very good. It's been very good when it comes to its numbers. But we were going to the Northeast, which did require actually a COVID test. Took the test 72 hours prior, and prior to departing, thankfully I was negative, but that came as a result of the notifications. So that was really good to see that kind of information coming out just to make sure. And when I took the test, it was actually very simple too. I went through the CVS drive-through and got it back within 48 hours. But so it's good. That information was very helpful to get to confirm that. The other thing I wanted to ask you about was the onboard experience. Of course, you always have people who, I'll put it this way, they're cheating the system. They'll pull the mask down, or they take it off entirely thinking, okay, well, I'm drinking. Well, you're going to drink the entire flight? So what happens? What happens when somebody is breaking the rules and removing their mask during flight?
So we have the highest, what's the word I'm looking for? We have the highest level of commitment from Ed Bastian all the way down to our executive leadership team to enforce the CDC recommendations. And we know right now that wearing a mask is something that Delta is enforcing. So when we find customers who would like to cheat the system, our fabulous onboard team has some tools in their pocket that they can use to ensure that we can provide a safe travel experience for everyone on board. If we have someone who continues to be a little defiant, we are putting them on an internal no-fly list. We take this very serious, and to date we have several hundred that have been added, and they will remain there as long as our policy remains in existence. We have a commitment, as I mentioned, from our leadership down to ensure that we have a duty to provide safety to everybody on board, and that is just one measure that we are doing if someone chooses not to follow our policies.
Good, great, thank you. And my last question is at the gate. The gate area, is that under airport control, or is that airline control?
So it's a partnership, and it's going to be a mix depending on the airport that you're in. So we have a great rapport with our port authorities. So where we do not have a Delta controlled environment, if you will, we have a great relationship with our Port Authority team to continue to provide a consistent experience, providing sanitizing stations, markings on the floor for space, and social distancing. And so it's a partnership when it's not exclusively Delta.
Gotcha. Okay. So I have noticed there are some airports who will block off seats at the gates and others will not. So I found that interesting that unfortunately the airports cannot seem to get their consistent act together. So hopefully that evolves into more consistency and we'll see, I don't know how much of a difference that makes, blocking out the seats, but to me, again, it's a psychological thing.
Yeah. And that's part of what the Global Cleanliness team is here for. We have the ability now to influence and go out and really educate our external stakeholders, in this case, a Port Authority, and let them know what we are seeing from our traveling community with sharing customer comments and sentiment as it relates to facilities. So we have an opportunity here to make sure that we are educating others around us. And having them come on board and create that safe and clean experience for everyone.
Great, thank you. All right, anything else you would like to mention on the slides?
No.
All right, I'm gonna stop sharing.
Okay.
Okay, so a few questions for you then. Who is traveling? In your data, who is traveling? Is it the vacation traveler, is it the corporate, or both?
Yeah, so primarily we're seeing leisure travels, and we are seeing some essential business services such as healthcare workers, medical companies, and et cetera.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, clearly corporations, businesses are slower to have their travelers go back into the field and traveling. And I get it. I get it in many ways. But certainly we're seeing that as well. The vacation traveler is definitely much more active when it comes to traveling, certainly by air. What kind of feedback are you getting from travelers? From your surveys, what are they saying about your actions with respect to keeping the area and the planes clean and so on? What are they telling you?
Yeah, so for those that have been willing to give us a try during these times, we're hearing consistent and positive feedback. So at Delta, we measure what we call Net Promoter Score to understand customer sentiment and willingness to recommend Delta. So pre-COVID, we were consistently in the 40 to 50% range, and throughout COVID, we've seen that number ascend into the 70+ range. And that's a testament to what they are seeing and feeling when they're in our care, starting from our lobbies all the way through the journey.
So 60 and 70 range.
Yes.
That's phenomenal. That's a really good number. So anybody that NPS scores and Net Promoter Scores, anybody who's not familiar with that, it goes from a -100 to +100. So a 0 is more or less, we don't look at it 50% or 50. So hitting it at 60 to 70 is fantastic. So congratulations.
Thank you. It's truly a team effort.
Yeah. And what do you think it will take to get more travelers on the planes?
That's a great question. We are committed to the high standards that we've created with the Delta Care Standard, and we will continue to innovate and further enhance the travel experience and confidence with our customers. Additionally, we are closely tied to our partners in the travel ecosystem to share best practices and continue to drive confidence across the entire travel ribbon. We have regular meetings with our partners in the rental car space, in our hotel space, ride sharing, and others. We're also leveraging our strategic partners to help us in the journey, and those include, as I mentioned, the Mayo Clinic, Lysol, and Perel, and a few others. The most important thing is really educating our customers on all of our protocols and safety measures that we have, and our partners is key to bringing people back to travel. So forums like this really help us spread the message. So thank you for this opportunity.
No, absolutely. Thank you for being here. Okay, so how about companies? What do you think it's going to take for corporations to say, okay, travelers, let's get out there?
Yeah, so we are beginning to see some business travelers come back. We are providing on-site tours at the airports so they can see our protocols for our corporate customers. So through programs like this, it's helping us to generate that business travel again. Of our big corporates that we are measuring, about 80% are traveling in some capacity. So it's very helpful that we're able to introduce these type of on-site tours so they can come in and really see what we're doing before they experience it firsthand with their flights.
Gotcha. Yeah, we're hearing when we talk to our clients, our corporations, businesses that we work with, it's a wide range. It's a wide range of items, and it's everything from making sure that the products are clean. It seems like Delta's doing that very well. Certainly the hotels, the car companies, and so on. And so it's a wide range. Of course, there are those that say, "Hey, we're waiting for that vaccine to come out." So there is that concern as well. So it's multiple things, but we are hearing companies saying that, yeah, we're getting out there. We're getting out there. They're not giving time frames. Some are saying we're getting out there. We're getting out there right now. Others are saying that we're ramping it up. So it's good to see that you're communicating out to them, inviting them to the airports, and seeing the actual things that you're doing. Okay, so how would you compare Delta's efforts to your competitors, the other airlines?
So, the entire industry has been lifted during this pandemic. And at Delta, you can expect us to continue providing leadership in this space. Additionally, our consistent layered approach to our cleaning programs and processes, as I mentioned earlier, those include electrostatic spraying, which we do before every departure. We are continuing to support social distancing on board and blocking our middle seats, as you know. And that's also providing some flexibility for our families that are traveling. We have extended our approach, and we are capping our load factor on every flight. And we are placing greater focus on our lavatory cleanliness, and we're not done yet. With innovation on the horizon, Delta is going to stay in the forefront. All of these measures that are important to you are important to us, and this goes across the whole Delta portfolio.
Well, you're doing it right. I can tell you that firsthand. I've flown Delta a few times over the past few months, and every time, kind of going back to what we said earlier, or you said earlier, was consistency, and that's what it comes down to. And every time it has been consistent. So congratulations.
Thank you.
So before we wrap up, any final thoughts?
I would just like to say thank you for this invitation to speak with you today. Our number one priority is protecting our people and our customers. So our commitment is going to remain learning and supporting from our strategic partners like the Mayo Clinic and Lysol, because we need to bring the confidence back to our customers. So I would just say thank you for this opportunity. And we really listen. So please complete your surveys. Tell us what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong, so we can continue to learn and grow and really connect with what's valuable to you. So thank you for your time today.
You bet. Thank you, BettyJo. You've been fantastic. And we're in a crazy time right now. We're in a crazy time, and the more information we can get out will help people navigate through this period. Nobody knows how long this is going to last. It really doesn't matter at this point. It's a matter of, okay, what can we do to communicate? And what can we do to say the message or spread the message that you have? And it's a great message. So thank you so much for being with us today. And thank you so much for the people at Delta providing a great product. And it's consistent too. So thank you.
Thank you.
So that's for our expert series for for Delta. We'll be having some additional ones coming up over the next few weeks. So thank you all for tuning in, and we'll be back with you shortly. Thanks.